Hello, welcome to High Heels Happy Hour.
Welcome.
Yeah, and this is our first. If you're just listening to this, you won't see it, but this is our first one-on-one, just the two of us, being recorded. We've only done audio unless we had a guest before this, and due of
Due to
due,
high demand, everyone
yeah,
has been asking, when's the video coming?
yeah. So here
We're
we
here.
are,
Yes, it is.
YouTube. Here we are. This is High Heels Happy Hour, both in sound and
Video.
picture. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So how are you?
I am great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with your check-in? What's been great this week, Ingrid?
Great this week. Well, it's a new year. So, I
Yes.
mean, we're a little bit into the new year,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been great. Business is great. Busy. Can't
That's good.
complain.
That's good.
And how about you?
It's been, yeah, it's been, I can't complain either. It's been great. And I think my highlight or yeah, highlight of is that it's finally official that I'm going to be one of the star dancers with
That's
Dancing
right.
with Vero Stars. So that's super exciting. And it just kicked off when we were recording that. It kicked off last week or this week, last weekend. So yeah, I was supposed to dance 2020, but due to the pandemic, it got canceled. So I did a lot of fundraising, did a lot of practicing, but I'm starting from scratch. Um, all new money needs to come in, and because it's a two-part competition, it's both 50% is fundraising for Healthy Start Coalition, and 50% is the dancing. So I have a new dance partner, Dimas, and I think I'm in very good hands. But of
I
course,
think
all
so
the
too.
practicing I did before, I have a new partner, so it's going to be all new. But hey, I'm going to learn so much, so many new things.
I love it. I'm
Yeah.
excited because that
So
means
it's
that we're gonna have some fundraising events
we
coming up.
are going to
We'll
have a
fill you in
lot.
later.
Da, da, da. More about that later. Yes, but it's all for the babies. So
Yes.
I'm excited. So, do you have a life hack you would like to share with the audience?
I do. I just learned that if you have, some of us have Tupperware
Uh-huh.
or plastic containers. I tend to like the glass ones, but I still
Yes,
have
me too.
some of the plastic ones. But if they have an odor, you
Mhm.
put in a piece of scrunched up newspaper overnight, and the paper absorbs the smell. It's not a scent
Oh,
because scent would be nice. A smell,
odor.
odor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Hmm.
And I want to tell you because my nose is a little runny. So if you see me doing this, excuse me. It's
It's
cold
very cold. That's
in
why
Florida
you will see me
today.
drink tea.
It's a little cold for our
Yeah.
normal
Yeah.
weather. So how about you? What's your life hack?
So, well, my life hack is I'm continuing on the food that we've had over the last couple of weeks, food theme. So, I got a new air fryer.
She's so
So I will
excited.
say, Ingrid got an air fryer a long time ago, and I thought air fryers were only for fried food, and I don't really like fried food. So you kept telling me about this air fryer, and I thought, nah, I don't need that. And I borrowed your air fryer for a couple of days to see if it was anything I would use. And I put vegetables in there, and they were great. So I bought myself a small air fryer. Well, that air fryer has been used every day since I bought it, but it was so small that I had to do everything in batches. So it took forever. So I got myself a toaster oven air fryer that
Huge.
I am so excited because I've never had a toaster oven either. That's very American, by the way. In Sweden, you don't have a toaster oven. I showed my mom. She's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Why? Why? Don't you have an oven?" I'm like, "Well, I went through it all." Anyway, so the air fryer toaster oven is phenomenal. I have the Ninja brand. I am not affiliated with Ninja yet. If you want to send me some money, that's okay. But you can air fry any vegetable. It is just so delicious. Makes it super crispy, crunchy. I just add a little bit of oil, salt, and pepper. sometimes. So my hack is Brussels sprouts.
I love Brussels sprouts in the
Brussels
air fryer.
And so my new Brussels sprout recipe is a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, garlic powder in the air fryer for about 10 minutes on 400. Take it out, it's all crispy. Then you do a little dressing with lime, lemon peel, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of oil, and Parmesan cheese, and put on top. Let me just say, it's life changing. You could just eat and eat and eat and eat. So yes, that is my recipe and life hack. So air fry any vegetable.
So if you listen to this episode, it's not episode 1 or 2.
Yeah.
However, what just happened is in one of our episodes on how we're different. And I'm saying to her right now, aha, I told you so.
Yes.
And she's really determined on her ways. So this was a perfect.
What? Yes.
Perfect.
Go back to episode number 2 where we talk about
it is
disc personalities, and you will.
See,
Yes,
that was
but
perfect.
I will admit I was wrong and you were right. And air fryers are fantastic,
and that is
especially
recorded. Yes.
for vegetables.
For anything but vegetables.
So
yes.
that's my life hack for
I love it.
today.
Makes me so happy.
Yes. So I think if you are listening to this or watching it, returning, I want to say thank you for coming back or listening, because that means a lot to us. And the response of our episodes so far have been
great.
Really great.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Mhm.
So yay, let's keep doing it.
Yes,
We're,
love it.
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting episodes coming up that we have in the works. So yeah, and we're not just about shooting the breeze. We definitely want to leave you with nuggets, meat on your bones, every time, something that's actionable that makes life a little easier and hopefully increases your business. Oh yes, I don't know if our mics pick up our
bellies from
our
fasting.
bellies, but yes, we are both doing intermittent fasting too. More on that another episode. But it's I'm not hungry. It's just my stomach talking a little.
Fine.
All right. So new year or early in the year when this is released, and I think like the first quarter is still kind of the reset time. Really thinking about what we're doing and what we can change and goals. And hopefully you have also listened to the episode about picking your one word, and you've picked your word. In order to find out what our words are, you have to be a member on our Facebook group.
Yes.
Yes. So go to High Heels Happy Hour podcast on Facebook, become a member. It's all free. And then you will see what our words of the year are. But anyway, all of that in mind, now is the time to also look at how we work and what we actually are doing, not just what we think we are doing in our heads, but what we are actually doing. So today's episode is busy work versus productivity. What is it we're truly doing? So one of my favorite sayings that I heard many years ago is, are you busy being busy? Question, not sayings, but favorite questions. I think you would agree with me, but I think in today's society or world, the world around us, being busy is almost like a badge of honor. Like, oh, I'm so busy. My calendar is so full. Everyone is just running around being busy. Life is crazy. You very rarely hear anyone saying, oh, I have all the time in the world. And it's just, my cat, everyone is just, it's a thing to be busy. But are you busy just being busy, or are you actually productive with your time? Because we all have the same 24 hours in the day, right? But it is how we use them, what we do with them, that makes some people very successful and some just stressed out and busy being busy.
I concur, and I think we're gonna hit a couple, not a few really good key points, but I think people use busy as a filler
Mhm.
excuse.
Yeah.
If you get invited somewhere, oh, I'm so busy, and it's, I mean, I think now since we understand busy
Mhm.
and productive,
Yeah.
I have people say, "Oh, I'm so busy," and I'm thinking, yeah, you might
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
revisit what busy
Yeah.
is, or you get the point understanding it that they're not gonna make time for you or what you
Mhm.
have,
Yes.
and understanding the difference is huge
Mhm.
because as an entrepreneur, you really need to understand that concept.
Yes.
So,
Again, there's only 24 hours in a
yes.
day. You gotta make sure that you are on top of those 24 and that the time is not eating you up, but you are actually in control. So, one of my goals, kind of that is supporting my one word that I'm not going to say, but one of my goals for the year is really, or my kind of mantra supporting my word is productivity and profitability. So, just as a little background, I think last year was a phenomenal year for me personally and business wise. I did a lot of things. I mean, I did a TED Talk, I co-wrote a book, I started a podcast with you, I started my Fix My Style show, I was on TV, I don't know how many times. So it was a lot of,
How many times?
yeah, it was a
It was
lot
great,
of
yes.
doing and trying on out new things, which was what I wanted to do. But that didn't necessarily lead to tangible business revenue right away. It's a long game. It's building a brand, but it's not tangible profitability. So this year, I want to take all that, but really making sure that turns into profitability for my business. And so productivity that leads to profitability. It's one of my big goals. And the two things that you really need in order to create productivity is number one, systems, and number two, accountability. Da, da, da. Yeah, those two are the keys to avoid busy work. Because if you have systems and you hold yourself accountable, it's very hard to run around and just say, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. You got to have something to show for
Mhm.
it. So, yeah, avoid the busy work and become more product, productive. It's hard to speak today. I spoke a lot of Swedish for since my family was here over the holidays. So I noticed when they left, my English was worse because it was all Swedish. So I apologize for that. But anyway, so over the next couple of episodes, we're going to talk a lot about systems. We have guests that are experts in different types of systems. So more on that coming up. But the first, let's look at the accountability part and kind of the first step to all of that is to set, because you know what you need to hold yourself accountable for. The first part is to set goals. And no, they're not New Year's resolution because you know how we feel about that,
Yes.
but they're goals that support that one word you have for the year. So goals in your business or personal life that supports your one word. And the goals need to be SMART goals. And most of you have probably heard about SMART goals. Um, but it's just to break it down, SMART, it's an acronym. So SMART stands for S stands for specific, meaning they need to be as detailed as possible. Need to have as many numbers and deadlines and yeah, because it's easy to say, I just want to get healthier. That's not specific.
Yeah, you need to break it down.
Yes. So that's the first one. Be very specific. The more specific, the better. The M stands for measurable, meaning trackable. Is it something we can actually measure at the end? Um, so just saying, I want to lose weight is not measurable. Well, I mean, there will be a measure on the scale, but then you need to say, be more specific
Mhm.
again and say, I want to lose X amount of pounds, or I want to make more money. Well, how much money are we talking? So otherwise, you can't break it down into action steps. The A stands for attainable. Some places they say actionable, but attainable I think is makes a little more sense. That means realistic. It's something you can actually attain. Because I might say, I want my company to have a $2 million profit this year. Well, that's going to be really hard if it's just me and I don't hire a whole staff.
You never know, but yes.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but yes.
It's just, or I want to travel the world. That's not attainable either. Yeah.
Also, what's attainable is being realistic on how much you're willing to do for that goal.
Yes.
So it's not just the number,
absolutely.
because if you have the people and you have the following,
Yeah.
1 million is attainable.
Yeah.
However, if you're not
Yes.
willing to do the work,
If you're starting from scratch, then yeah,
Yeah.
and you're not exactly willing to do the work. So it can't be a pipe dream. It needs to be attainable. Then R stands for relevant.
dun, dun,
Dot, 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 meaning it needs to be in alignment with your values, but also that one word we've been talking about.
Mhm.
So if it's something that's maybe a goal for another year or down the road, if it's not relevant to what you're trying to do in your business and your personal life right now, then it needs to be put aside.
Cancel.
Yeah, maybe for another year. And then the last one, the T, is time bound or timely. I think we were
Mhm.
taught timely, but time bound, meaning it needs to have a deadline. Because as we know, one day is not a day of the week. So time, yeah, timely or time bound, meaning you need to obtain it at that date or a certain date. So that is the SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So now we've had our SMART goal. We think we might have selected our SMART goal. There is another very relevant exercise to do, and it's called the 7 levels of why. So, because sometimes we might sit around and think about our goals and think that we want all these things, and they might be SMART goals, but are they truly things we're willing to do, or are they important enough to us that we're willing to put in the work? And a great exercise to do is called the 7 levels of why. And it's something I heard about it first through Dean Graziosi. I did a course with him and Tony Robbins, and they talked about the 7 levels of why. So what that is when you have your SMART goal, selected something. Give me an example, Ingrid, of a SMART goal.
Gosh, and I didn't think you were going to put me on the
Oh,
spot.
sorry.
Like building my unit to 100.
Building your unit to 100. Then you go through 7 levels of asking why. So why do you want to build your unit to 100?
It would create more avenues of income.
So why is having different avenues of income? So we're not going to do all that now, but you go
Yes.
through it 7
Like, wait.
times.
Yeah.
And why you do that is to really pinpoint your reason why.
Well, as you were asking me, what's interesting is I was actually reeling
Yeah.
why, I was like, okay, I think she's going to ask me again. And I
Mhm.
had a few more answers.
Oh, good.
So that
Good.
is pretty cool.
Yeah, because if you run out after 3, it's not an important enough goal.
I love it.
because then your reason why is not strong enough. It doesn't have
That trickle
legs
effect, yeah.
enough to, so it's probably something you're not gonna, there's work in there you're not gonna be willing to do, to get to. So it's really, that's how you discover what are your driving forces behind your goal, and what is really important to you. So that's it, and there are, I went online, there's a lot of worksheets for it where you can put your goal and then go 7 levels deep. I think it's called 7-level deep exercise as well, some people, but there is something magic about that 7, because it's not a 5 levels deep. Everyone is a 7-level deep. So yeah, that's a good check to do if the goal is important enough or relevant enough for you.
I love that.
Yes. So now we've picked our SMART goals. We've made sure they're important enough. Now, I also use another tool that I really love, and it's called the Full Focus Planner by Michael Hyatt. And it really is, they're divided into quarters. So it's like 3 months worth, but there's no date on them. So you fill in the date yourself. But in the beginning of each one, there are goal details to fill out. So pick the goal, the statement, the thing that you want to do, then your key motivators, which you get from the 7 levels. And then there are next steps. So, okay, what is the next step you're going to do to reach that goal? So I like this because it really breaks it down. So it's not just, again, pipe dreams or goals. It's really breaking it down. So how are we going to achieve this goal? So I recommend that. Again, I have no affiliation yet.
Yeah. Yes.
So it really is, and something that Michael Hyatt says too is, to accomplish our goals, we must distill our dreams into daily actions, because it's all about those daily action or daily things we do. That, where does it take us? You eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? And that's how we get to our to reach our goals. So the question is, what are you doing today that will take you closer to your goal? Are you busy being busy?
Yeah.
Or are you doing something that will help you reach your goal? So yeah, I went through those things. One thing that Michael Hyatt has in the book too, and that I'm really bad at, because I think it's a
Did you hear that?
D personality. It's very D. I personalities would definitely, and again, as a reference, go back to episode 2 and learn about the DISC system. But it is that you should celebrate. How are you going to celebrate when you reach the goal?
I don't have an issue with celebrating.
I know you don't. I just never, I go, oh, check. Okay, on to the next. I forget that part. And I do think psychologically it is very important, because otherwise you're constantly running, and that's not good either. So yes, I do I'm going to pay closer attention to the celebration portion of my new
celebration
Full Focus Planner. Yes.
But
yes.
I do want to say something about goals and doing daily things. I do believe too is what you're doing that is not helping your goal should also be taken account too.
Yes.
Social media, those, I know we're going to talk about habits, but having those things that you do
yeah,
that are not so great.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're busy doing stuff that's not going to help you.
Yeah.
But we've always talked about this. They always say, tell me what you do daily.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what you do productively, and I can tell you your paycheck.
Yeah.
And it's almost like we
That's
really
so
can't
same thing. Yeah.
complain that you don't have that extra money. You don't have,
if you're not doing anything.
Yes. If you're thinking about it, you're like, oh gosh, I wish I would have done this.
Yeah.
But you didn't stop doing that.
Yes.
So, and that goes with accountability, because you have to, unless you have someone that you report to.
Mm-hmm. That takes us to what we're going to talk about right now.
You really don't have the ability to complain because
Uh-huh.
you didn't do what you said you were going to do,
That's
and
another,
lying.
yes,
Yeah.
that's another saying that I love. You
Oh, yes.
cannot complain about things you can actually do something about.
Yes, it's just the accountability. I mean, you're one of the greatest people you can be truthful to is yourself.
Yes.
So I think
Yes. But sometimes you might need some help.
you do, but you have to be authentic to yourself first
Mm-hmm.
in order to understand that if I tell you, Christina, this is what I'm going to do, you have things you're doing. You'll check
Mm-hmm.
on me,
Mm-hmm.
but when you ask me,
Yeah.
I have to be completely honest.
Yeah.
And if you lie to someone that's caring enough to be accountable to you, you're only hurting yourself.
Yeah.
So
that leads us to the next part. Well, there's a great quote from Jim Rohn. Do you know who he is? I think he's the one who was kind of the mentor to Tony Robbins. So
oh yes,
also
I
one
do.
of his
I've
self-help.
seen him.
Yeah. So he says, discipline is the bridge between your goal and accomplishment. So shout out to Emily McHugh, who had this on her newsletter this week. I love it. Thank you, Emily. So yes, discipline is that bridge because we have our goals, but then we have what we're actually, or how we to reach them, and discipline is the bridge in between. And you cannot be disciplined without accountability. So, as Ingrid's saying, so we're going to jump a little more into the accountability part. And I do think, too, this is where personality styles also vary. I think, and I don't want to throw the eyes under the bus, but I think eyes probably are less great at holding themselves accountable.
Gosh, totally. I'm not even
Whereas
going to
someone
argue.
like a C would be super high or is very good at accountability.
Well, I think too, eyes would be me being an eye.
Yeah.
Okay. Or nine. Now you know that. But me having that kind, my celebrations have to be a little
She even
bit.
has a necklace that says I.
Yeah.
Could be for Ingrid or just, your disc.
Yes. Celebrations are a little bit closer together versus D's are like, no, I need to do this one more thing to just validate why they're celebrating. Versus for me, I find it a lot more funner for me to celebrate a lot more small wins because it keeps me kind of going.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and if you know that about yourself, then you need to put that into the system.
no, when I do Christina's way, I suffer. I'm like, that's way too long. I need something in between. But once you know that, it just allows you to grow because then you're growing at your pace, but you still keep yourself again accountable, and that's the biggest thing is just having that. But
I think that going back to what is accountability, accountability is really showing up for yourself, but also asking yourself, are you willing to do the things that you don't feel like doing? Because they're good for you and you should be doing them because they take you closer to your goal. So most of us have great intentions when we start out something, but kind of fall off because it's not fun enough. And eyes tend to be there. But anyway, so accountability for me personally, I think if I might toot my own horn, I think it's one of my strongest or best strength is I am really good at holding myself accountable. And I do have accountability partner too. Shout out to Abby, who will be our guest in a very soon coming episode. But I do think I am really great at holding it for myself. I just cannot stand to lose face for myself. So I'm good at not coming up with excuses.
I'm getting better.
But accountability is about being true to your word. I mean, as you said, you can lie to yourself and you can come up with all the excuses in the world, but are you true to your word, what you said you're going to do? Or are you someone that constantly cancel plans? Or are you someone that changes plans or cancels last minute, or you're someone that says yes to everything, even though you know you're not going to do it because you just want to please people. So it's really important to look at yourself and say, am I true to my word? And you got to start by being true to your word. Otherwise, accountability is not going to happen. So something I learned while we did some research on this episode is there are 4 steps to accountability. And I love it because I love a good checklist. I love a good 1, 2, 3, 4, you know. So 4 steps of accountability is number 1, see it, meaning we've done that. We've identified our goals. So that's the first step. We've seen what we want to do. So now we need to see how to get there. And then own it. Number 2, own it. Know that this is something you need to do. Number 3, solve it. Meaning finding the way, which as we did in the full focus planner, you break down, okay, so what are you going to do today? What are the action steps to solving or reaching your goal? And number 4, do it. Da-da-da. So see it, own it, solve it, do it. Those are the 4 magic steps to holding yourself accountable. But of course, it is easier said than done. And it's not because people are worse and better. It's just that we are different personality types. And some people have a harder time. They kind of see new shiny objects and have a harder time staying on track. But I think one of the best books ever, and most of you have probably heard about it, but it's The Atomic Habits by James Clear. Ingrid has not read it, so she will read it. I know. Or listen to it.
Yes,
on Audible.
I'll listen to it.
Audible. But this really, it's a classic by now. It's not been out that long. I can't remember what year, but it's a New York Times bestseller. And James Clear is definitely a very well-known man by now. But what this book is all about is about forming habits. And forming habits is all about the little tiny steps we do that give or make a huge impact, makes huge changes. It's not about changing everything. Again, it's about eating the elephant one bite at a time. But by changing, just tweaking things to what we do on a daily basis, the outcome within a year will be tremendous. And it's also about what we talked about, is about breaking the bad habits that we have. It's not just about creating new ones, it's about breaking the old ones too. So I recommend that to anyone who has not read it. It is a phenomenal book. But something, because last year I did an accountability club too with some of my clients where we checked in, and something that we used that can also be a great tool. And we will put a PDF of this on the Facebook group page. It's called a habit tracker. So if you don't want to use like a journal like the full focus one, a habit tracker sheet is a great way to kind of, because we know a tracked number grows or increases or moves the right way. And so what you do is you put down the goal and then the daily habits to support that goal, just like we talked about. And then you just track within a week. How many times are you doing that one thing you say you're going to do to support your goal? And there's something about filling in the square, so satisfying. Maybe that's a typical C or D personality, but it's like, ooh, it's like, check. That's my little victory. I don't have to celebrate. I just get to fill in the little
you're going to start
square.
celebrating.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I might have to do something
But
special.
also too, when it comes to accountability, as if you're an entrepreneur or someone that wants to start a business or has been in business, I think sometimes you look at someone and say, oh, she has it all put together, or why does she have that? Oh, I would love to have that. And we've talked about this in our businesses. if you're not willing to do the work, you cannot compare yourself to someone that is willing to
Yeah.
do the work. They
Yeah.
always say, you want to be someone that's willing to do the work to reap the rewards, because if you're not willing to do it,
Yeah.
you're not gonna.
And also, then it's really important to be honest. And I think the 7 levels of why will probably point that out to you not. But sometimes we say we want to do things because it's the trendy thing to do, or it's the thing everyone else is doing. But in our heart of hearts, we know it's, you know what, it's really not that important to me. But it just seems like it should be something we should do. So you got to be honest with yourself. Is this truly something? Is this a goal? And am I willing to do the work?
And if you're not willing to do the work, what do they say? Usually you get something, you achieve something by doing the things that other people are not willing to do.
You get the life others
Dream of.
You get the life others dream of by doing the things others are not willing to do. Yes.
That's huge for me, because that just, it almost takes something away from me, and I despise when people take stuff away from me.
Yeah. That's a good
that's
motivation.
That's one of my eyes. You don't take stuff away from me.
Yeah.
So I'm determined to take it back.
So in order to hold you accountable, I'm going to take, you can celebrate, but if you don't reach it, I'm taking something away.
That's fine. That will move me.
All right. So that.
Oh no, she learned something about me.
So talking about all this, we want to leave you with some action, not just a bunch of information, but a call to action as well, because that's what we're all about. So we encourage you to go to our Facebook group. If you're not already a member, if you are, just log on. And we want you, so today and 6 weeks, so Tuesday in 6 weeks will be February 28th. So the last day of February. So for the next 6 weeks, well, first of all, go onto our Facebook group and put down 1 or 2, don't put down more than 2, 1 or 2 of your SMART goals for the year. And then each week, we want you to go in, hold yourself accountable. We will hold you accountable. Go in and post, what are things I have done this week to support the goal or goals. And of course, we want to lead by example. So we're going in today, putting in, are you putting in 2 goals?
I'm putting in 2.
Okay.
And we'll have it as a post. So it's a constant feed. So you know exactly where we'll be. And others will be watching. Which
would you like a thread?
A thread.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Yeah. Great. So each week, hold yourself accountable and post what actions you've done over the last week to support your SMART goals.
That's exciting.
It's an accountability group within the Facebook group. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. So that, and we will, of course, do it as well. And if we don't, you hold us accountable. Okay. All right. There was a lot of steps and action, but I think I love this stuff. I can talk about it all year.
And I mean, and once you know, you can't just, once you know what you're not doing or what you're not willing to do, it takes a lot of the guessing. It makes it so much easier. You can't expect yourself to have a business, make money, have choices if you're not willing to do. So
and by tracking what you do, you move the needle. Track number grows.
And your expectations. If you're not willing to do, please tell yourself you're just not going to do it.
I just want to stay on the couch and eat bonbons. Yeah. Then be honest with yourself.
Get really good bonbons.
Then you get the
call
best
it a day. But expectations, accountability, everything kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
And I think you set up yourself for failure if you lie to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't lie to yourself. Just be completely honest, truthful, and things will get done.
Yeah.
And celebrations will be so much better.
Yeah. Amen to that.
So
we are checking the Facebook group today. Go on, and our goals will be there. And then over the next couple of weeks, we are talking about that system portion of productivity as well. So look out for 2 really exciting guests coming on that will help you with your systems, make it easier. Systems and discipline. That's right. That's what it's all about.
I gotta get used to that.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. So that's all we have for this week.
Yes.
And we don't
So-
have our martini glasses, but
That's right.
cheers. Bye bye.
Ciao.